Good morning. A very great and special For the Record is about to roll. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right here in 20 seconds.
Commonwealth's attorneys and I have concluded that the NCAA sanctions were overreaching and unlawful.
Someone's got to develop a product that you and I, as a consumer, are going to want to buy.
The country needs a comprehensive energy plan.
Good morning and welcome to this edition of For the Record. Two great guests on the show today. So we have a little bit different setup. Joining us from Bald Eagle Area High School, Todd Biddle, high school agricultural and science teacher, as well as the lead advisor of the award-winning FFA chapter out at Bald Eagle and one of his standout students, Adrianna Cohen, a senior, by the way. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Mr. Biddle, I'm going to start with you since you are the advisor. We did have a story on the center of it all about the recognition that the FFA chapter has gotten. And what did I keep saying? I kept saying this is a club. This is not anything like that. This is actually a graded curriculum student organization out at Bald Eagle area.
Yeah, agriculture education is co-curricular, and often people look at the FFA leadership component of it as extracurricular, and that's actually not the case. So most people associate Room 305 as what agriculture education is about, but it's much more than that. That's just 1/3 of the curriculum. Another third of the curriculum is something referred to as supervised agriculture experience. So students have the opportunity to have an educational objective project outside of the typical school day. And students keep records on their project. And then those records are reviewed for a grade. Those records also can be used to apply for awards through the state and national FFA organization. And then the other third is the actual FFA leadership component. So it's teaching kids about premier growth, career success, giving those leadership skills that they're going to need for their future.
Adrianna, from a student's perspective, why did you get involved with FFA and how is it different from any other class that you have?
When I first joined, I only wanted just to show animals through FFA. That's what I thought it was all about. And I looked really forward to doing that, showing animals, meeting new people and everything. But then I realized, hey, there is so much more to this, this club. I mean, there is other opportunities to meet people across the whole state. We have so much fun things we do in FFA. There's so many activities. We go out and go to other communities. I mean, just do so many things. It's I had no idea. So that's just pretty much why I just wanted to join. First it's just, I'm a farmer. I grew up on a farm and I thought, hey, it's farming, so why not? And now it's hey, this could be just for anybody, just having leadership experience, communicating skills. And without that, I wouldn't even be able to do this right now and talk in front of you on a TV, because it's just an amazing experience.
Let me ask you this. Do you have to be a, quote, farm kid to actually be involved with this?
Absolutely no, you don't. So people just think, hey, it's only for farmers. And I thought that too when I first started. But now it's no, you can just do so many other things. You don't have to own a farm. You can, as Mr. Biddle said before, people, we do these projects, and it doesn't have to be on an animal. It can just be about anything. A little tomato plant you're growing in your house. It's just not about farming. It's just about communicating, growing leadership skills, being able to produce communicative things between each other. It's just a real great experience for anybody.
You guys have been recognized at the local level with awards, the state level with awards, going all the way up to nationals. All this at the same time where the current format of the FFA out at Bald Eagle is relatively new. It had it in the past. It went away for a while. You brought it back.
Yeah, so the program came back about 5 years ago, and so they applied for a charter through the Pennsylvania Department of Education, and it was granted. And so we're building it from scratch, but I've luckily have advised 2 other chapters previously to Bald Eagle School District, and so I had the foundation to take a great group of kids and structure them through the program. At first, FFA and agriculture education is a lot of work. Mm-hmm. It's just like being a member of a sports team, and every student who's part of it wants to devote a different amount of time. But if you're willing to put a lot of effort into it, like any other organization, you can really reap a lot of benefits. And so it's really exciting. The reason we've done so well this year is because the students are so excited. You know, they're what make the program. It's not me. I'm just the coach. I'm the expert. I'm the one who has to find the resources that they need. But it's about the students that make the program really great.
As a student, what's it been like to see it come from its infancy all the way up to what you guys have achieved?
I just found it astonishing. When I first started, we had nothing really to go on about. We had really nothing to do. And growing from that when we first started, it's just, wow, we have so much we can do. We can go travel, we can do so many fun things, we can help other people, we can help ourselves. It's just a great experience.
What's it like to see the success of your students?
It's the worst question you can ask me because I'm a man lost in passion. And if you know me, you know that. And so my job is everything to me because I, as a young student, was actually predicted never to graduate from high school. And so, and there's two teachers in my life that had a profound impact on getting me to where I am today. And I've had many wonderful life experiences. And so it has been my life mission to hopefully give back to somebody else what they gave to me.
Not that I don't want to give you some time, but how special is it to see the students, follow you in your vision of what you want them to accomplish?
Well, so you take a project like the farm show, okay? So it's not, they all had individual projects, so they were all competing. But it's much more than that. They had to raise the money to get there. They had to plan the entire trip from motels to what time we were leaving. So there's so many integral pieces. And so I think a lot of times students focus on the award, but it's all the skills that they're learning in the process of winning an award.
We are talking with Todd Biddle and Adrianna Cohen of the Bald Eagle Area School District, FFA. Stay with us. You're watching WHVL's For the Record. Welcome back to WHVL's For the Record, talking about the award-winning Bald Eagle FFA. And Adrianna, I'm going to start with you. So many accomplishments. You have done so many great things, earning your degree, Keystone Degrees, awards at the Grange Fair. Specific accomplishments, what are you most proud of?
Coming this far, I can tell you that right now. From the beginning, I had no idea I'd be accomplishing this much. It just meant the whole world to me. Seeing all that I've done, it just made me in who I am, made me who I'm going to be in the future. And knowing that all these accomplishments I've made, it made me realize that I have so much more to do in the future, and I know I can accomplish that if I put my mind to it.
Seeing your fellow students and their accomplishments, there's been many. How does that make you feel? But also, you've had pretty high praise in a specific project that you also went down the path to complete.
Seeing everyone else accomplishing their dreams, it just makes me feel so proud because that just makes us a team. Working together, doing everything together, we can do anything that we want to. It just made us all accomplish anything that we wanted to. And at the farm show, I recently placed Best of Show with my landscape box, and honestly, when I did that, I had no idea I was even going to place first place, let alone Best of Show. But in the few weeks before farm show began, I scrambled everything together. I'm like, hey, I need to put my mind to this. I know I can do this because I've done so much more. And I did it. I surprisingly did it. And it just made me feel I was just astonished. It just made me feel amazing.
And some of the best competition that she faced actually was right inside your own classroom.
Yes, so in the division that she was, we were first, second, and third, only had 3 entries. Another division, we were first with just 1 entry. And in the other division, we were second with just 1 entry from our school. So we definitely were noticed.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Just the way that all of this has taken off.
Yeah, and I love the fact that she said about teamwork. So it's really interesting, So as we were putting the last minute touches on the displays, or anything that we did at the farm show, getting the rabbits in their respective cages, is that the students work together. So even though each of them have their own personal interests, it's all about the collaboration, and it's those same skills that they're going to use the rest of their life.
Adrianna, how long does it take to complete these projects?
The landscape projects or any project?
Any project that your team was working on, from the landscape projects to maybe the rabbits. If you could take us through, we'll get to that in a little bit. We are going to have a live animal on the set of FTR, but if you could just take us through what maybe some of your team members are doing.
So, well, when we did the landscape projects, the whole team started when school started back in September, and we just all worked together, helping each other out. And coming this far, it's just we've all did everything with each other, and we kicked some butt. And then some other students shown some rabbits, and they started training those right when they were born. So they had all this time to help train them, to help make them fit to be able to show at the farm show. And they helped each other out. They did everything they could, and they even placed really well at the farm show too.
Two big accomplishments for individuals are the Keystone Degrees as well as the jackets. Mr. Biddle, what goes into actually making those two things a reality if a student comes to you and says, I want to do this?
So the jacket symbolizes many things in the agriculture community, but it is that precursor to the great experience. And so we are very lucky to live in Pennsylvania, and the Pennsylvania FFA Foundation with other organization groups work extremely hard to try to award any freshman student in any FFA chapter across the state a free jacket. Now, the student must write 3 essays, and then those essays are reviewed by a panel that they put together, and then they decide if the student is worthy of the merit. And but again, Pennsylvania has done an excellent job of trying to make sure that every student who applies gets a jacket. So many sponsors. Many of the sponsors come from our local community.
Always big to keep community involved. Adrianna, you're so well spoken. I see the awards on the jacket. But Mr. Biddle, you always talk about preparing students for the future. FFA used to be known as Future Farmers of America. What jobs are you preparing your students to be able to go into once they leave your program?
Well, agriculture is the leading industry in Pennsylvania, and this is the most dynamic time to be part of the field because there are so many new opportunities approaching our future, particularly in the alternative energy fields. We all consume agriculture products every day of our life, whether it be the clothes that we wear or the food that we ate. And so my students will be the people who will make the new technology advances happen. The other thing is that a lot of my students will never work in the field of agriculture, but they will consume agriculture products. And a lot of the skills that I teach are transferable. So, when a student writes a speech, they may have to write a speech for something in their lifetime. Public speaking is something that they will do every day in the workforce. It may not be, it'll be extemporaneous. It may not be formal, but it's still informal. And so having those effective communication skills are extremely important. And so we never want the focused FFA. Agriculture is the model, but we want everyone to understand that the skill set is very interdisciplinary. And so that's what makes what I teach so exciting.
Where do you want to go after Bald Eagle Area High School? I'm putting you on the spot here.
I'm already accepted to Penn State for the animal science major, so when I'm done with that, I plan on getting a job in agricultural management, probably around beef cattle, just any kind of management job like that I hope to do.
The future goals for the club, because obviously you have the students that have been there for a while, they're moving on, students like Adrianna. Who replaces her? Who's the next Adrianna Cohen?
I don't look at it like that. I go back to that supervised agriculture experience. It's about students setting their own goals. And it's about me coaching students to help them earn those goals. So as new students come, new goals. And I never want the chapter to be stagnant. So, right now, Bald Eagle has a lot of students who are interested in livestock projects. In the future, I may have a lot of students who are interested in food science. And where that student interest is in terms of the chapter is where we need to go. Now, the state mandates what I teach every day in my class, so that is consistent. But in terms of where we go with supervised agriculture experience and FFA, the students decide, and they make those decisions.
You know what my favorite thing about the FFA is? there's no state guiding every single thing that goes on. Mr. Biddle is allowed to teach what he wants to teach. Stick around, we're going to talk about some very special accomplishments that they have achieved over the last year. Welcome back to WHVL's For the Record. A fourth guest has joined us on the set. Mr. Biddle, who do we got here?
This is Annabelle. This is one of the rabbits produced in our animal science course. So in the September, each group of students gets a rabbit, which they mate, and they have a litter a month later, and they raise these animals to maturity. And so this is one of the rabbits born in our classroom.
This is great. This is awesome. Normally on this set, we're talking about elephants and we're talking about donkeys, Republicans, conservatives, Democrats, liberals. I told you we had a different show for you today, but we're going to swing it back to Washington because the great thing is Glenn GT Thompson, good friend of the show, he invited you down as a reward for everything that the students have achieved and what you're doing down to the State of the Union address in January.
It was an amazing experience. It's just to see, politics in action, and it's a moment of celebration, so all these politicians work really hard. They work collectively. Certainly the focus is on the president and the president's vision for the future, but it's also a report card to look at what's happened in the past. And certainly the president doesn't do all of the work himself. So the other thing that's really been interesting is since the attending is that the publicity. And I'm a very non-political figure. And it's interesting because I've had the experience, now people think that I have political connections that I really don't have. And it's interesting because there's been comments put on Facebook, making reference to my political beliefs, which I've never even shared. And my political beliefs are not why I was selected to even attend the State of the Union address. So it's been really interesting.
I love how you said report card. If there was any doubt you were a teacher, you're saying that the State of the Union was a report card. When I talked to Mr. Biddle before, I brought it up as a circus. I'm working to confirm if Mr. Biddle was the one who awoke Ruth Bader Ginsburg when she was falling asleep in the first row. I'm going to work to see if that's actually true. Adrianna, the students couldn't go. You're only allowed one guest. But to see your advisor, your team leader, your teacher be selected as a reward for a lot of the things that you guys are doing, how awesome was that?
It was amazing. When he first told me, I was shocked. I was like freaking out, and he was so nervous. He's like, I don't know if I can do this. What? I don't know what to do. He's like, you can do this. You can go. I just gained so much more respect for him because now, we're nationally known almost now, in a way, and it was just such a great experience. I've never met anyone be able to go to such a thing like that, and it was amazing, and I have so much respect for him. It was just a really great accomplishment.
When people look at Bald Eagle is a very rural area.
Really?
And so, most of my students haven't had those experiences with the greater world around them. They know their backyard. And so when people they know start to experience something much larger and they follow it, it's really exciting because we're all part of it.
What was the best moment, whether for each of you, Adrianna, whether you were watching it on CNN, Fox News, we'll be politically correct, we'll throw each side out on that one, and Mr. Biddle, the best experience in person in there, whether it was seeing the president come in and maybe the best feeling that you've had when you were there?
I love the energy. The energy is something that you cannot describe, and you certainly don't see on TV. So when the House comes in, it's a little bit more laid back. But when the Senate starts coming in, and then the Supreme Court, and you just kind of escalate the energy, and people are cheering and celebrating, and it's just really positive. It's tremendous momentum for the evening.
Adrianna, what about for you?
For me personally, I think it was just watching it because I'd never watched anything like that before. It just really never interested me. But since I know he was going to be on TV, it's like, I got to watch this. I mean, our teacher's on TV.
Well, you're going to be on TV as well. One of the reasons that we're here is recently FFA week has passed. It was the 20th through the 27th. What went into that, and what makes that week more special than the other 51 weeks of the year?
it's just celebrating what we do. It's telling the FFA story. So we start off the week by giving each teacher a pen that our chapter worked to purchase from National FFA, so to kind of alert them that this is going on. But the big activity is we were really lucky that Science Night happened to be the same week as National FFA. So the Agriculture Department has worked with Penn State University and the administration at Bald Eagle School District to provide some really cool agriculture programming. So learning about the DNA in a strawberry. As members from the community with their family came in, they got to extract the DNA and learn that there is lots of DNA in the food that they eat. As you can see, I use rabbits in instruction. We also now have chickens and rats in the classroom. So learning about animal welfare and the use of animals in research and why we need to use animals in research. And then partnering with community organizations such as the Unionville Grange, who did a program on popcorn sensory. And finally, the endorsement of Penn State University, where future teachers of agriculture education did workshops to share their areas of expertise and interest. And then all of our introduction to agriculture students created posters. And so we were able to do a poster display of some of the things that they've learned about biotechnology.
Adrianna, what's been the response from the students, the other students outside of FFA at Bald Eagle area? And maybe are you trying to recruit some of them as you leave and pass the torch?
Before any of this, they didn't even know FFA even existed. And now that we do all these things, they're like, this is really cool. We all want to join. And that's what is bringing them into our FFA. Like, we do these activities, we make it a fun experience, and they really want to join.
And we have the numbers to back it up. So we've tracked the last few years, and our enrollment has grown about 80 students in the past year.
Well, big things definitely coming in the future. I want to thank Adrianna for being here, Mr. Biddle. Can I get the rabbit over? There we go. Thank you very much for watching For the Record. I got a new friend. It might be the only friend I've ever had on set. For Mr. Biddle, Adrianna Cohen, I'm Andrew Calista. Thanks for watching WHVL's For the Record. Peace.